Hi, everybody. My name is Sam Opsahl, and I work with Indiana Humanities as a program associate. And on behalf of Indiana Humanities, I couldn't be more excited to be welcoming our viewers in for this special bonus content from the Waterways film tour. We are so proud of the Waterways films, both for the conversations that they've sparked and the success they are now finding out in the larger Indiana region. I'm very excited to be here right now talking with one of those filmmakers. Katelyn, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Sam? Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. I'm happy to be here with you. All right. So, first question I have for you, where did the idea or inspiration for your film Hellbender in the Blue come from?
Right, yeah. Okay. So it was a bit of like connections, not unlike, rivers connecting, going to the ocean. We're gonna heads up everyone. If you're not into water metaphors, you can step away right now because we're gonna get there. But anyways, my first film was actually also an Indiana Humanities funded film about the White River called Braided with the Current. From that, the Forest Alliance reached out, the Indiana Forest Alliance reached out to make a film about surveying bats in the Hoosier National Forest. And it was actually the Indiana Forest Alliance that introduced me to the creature known as the Eastern Hellbender salamander, which brings us to Hellbender in the Blue, the film that we're talking about today.
Very cool. So then moving from the inspiration from the film to like the actual making of the film, what did that process look like? Any unique stories come out of that, whether that be filming, editing, etc.?
Right. Well, I think the biggest, most wonderful thing was getting to touch Hellbender. If you don't know what they look like and you haven't seen the film, I recommend you check out the film and or just Google Eastern Hellbender salamander. They're honky. They're kind of like ugly cute. And so that was just fun to like just exist with these creatures and to interact with them in a way that you really don't get to as like I guess a regular non-filmmaker human or scientist. So that was wonderful. And then I think something that really emerged too was just like the beauty of the community behind this creature, and the story of the community is in there just as well. So what started as like discovering an animal turned into just the story of a community, and that process took about 2 years to capture the film. So
Very, very cool. Okay, so then like thinking about those community connections, how do you see the connections between the story that happens in your film and the storytelling that you do in your film, and then connecting that to helping us understand our relationships with the environment?
right. Oh my gosh, so many things. Yeah. I love community. Just I think there's on so many levels when it comes to filmmaking. Filmmaking is an art that requires like a lot of human beings
Mhm.
and a lot of specialized skills. So simultaneously, like the film itself features all the different specialties in the conservation world and learning about these creatures. Because I mean, to be a I'm going to say the word hellbender scientist so I don't murder the word herpetologist, which I got it.
You
Yay.
did
We're
it.
winning today. So to be a herpetologist and to learn about just this very specific type of creature is very specialized, just like, the folks who animated in the film are very specialized. The gentleman who composed the film is very specialized. So it's kind of cool to like, to put a piece out in the world that tells the story of a community of all these specialized people that come together to do amazing work. And then, while I was director producer, there were so many people that like were a part of this to like bring their specialties and bring it to where it is. And so I just love that. I love those parallels. And then let's talk about also the community when it comes to the audience. Something I was very intentional about with this film was building community around the film. So even before, gosh, I think we'd only really filmed for one day. We started really sharing a lot on Instagram. So we've got Hellbender underscore film from, late 2019 to, gosh, mid 2022. We're sharing stories of capturing the film and then, the actual touring of the film and the community that like gets involved and follows the behind the scenes and then also enjoys the film. It's just very interesting, and it's kind of a way to take the community featured in the film, the community that helped me produce the film, together as one on the interwebs, which is something that you all do at Indiana Humanities all the time, is like share the stories, connect them with the world, share the creators, connect it with the world, make this a great state.
Sounds like you're doing all the right things, which is to bring everybody, all your best friends together for one big party.
They really are. I was talking to someone this morning about how I just like want to work with and create, and my clients are my best friends, my subjects are like, it's just, I just love human beings, and I think that's what community is. It's just a bunch of human beings. And apparently I love salamanders too. So
they're welcome at the party too.
I know, humans and salamanders unite. It's good.
We should make t-shirts that say that.
Oh my gosh, so many t-shirt ideas.
All right, so moving kind of past the film then, or looking back on the film is maybe a better way to say that. Have there been any updates to the story or the people in the film since you documented their experiences?
Sure. I think I don't want to like misquote any specific updates. It's been wonderful to take the film, frankly, all over the state and a few spots elsewhere in the country. That's been really cool. We have shared this quite publicly, but like just being able to go to the International Wildlife Film Festival in Montana, and the fact that like our stories stand up right next to those stories that are international, frankly, is very cool. But then from the community that we featured, again, do not want to misrepresent the number, but the Help the Hellbender folks, gosh, I think they like, to be a storyteller, I think they like close to doubled. They released more Hellbenders than ever this past summer of 2022. We filmed them both in 2020 and 2021. But this past summer, they released more than ever a certain number of Hellbenders into the river. And I imagine that's getting bigger. I've been fortunate to join them for a few of their Hellbender partners meetings. And they're still at it, and it's still amazing work. They're also really just doing a lot of work across state lines, which is cool. And then, of course, Indiana Forest Alliance is always still working at protecting our old growth forests, which is kind of a part of the story too, because the way that things grow, along the side of a river, support a river, which is, the scientific way to say it, right? And then, of course, we feature the Nature Conservancy as well, and they just are statewide doing stuff. It's just really cool. You can like all these organizations, they keep things out and about, up to date, but to tell their story at a moment in time, a 1.5-year period, and then to see that they still are doing amazing work and growing the augmentation numbers and things like that is real fun. So
that's awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear everybody's doing well. You already kind of hit on this a little bit, but how do you feel about how the film has been received by audiences? Have you received any other film festival recognitions or awards that you want to give a shout out to right now?
Sure. It's been just incredible. I do want to point out we've got some really cool film festivals in this state. Indie Film Fest, Heartland Shorts, which is, gosh, I think it's Indie Shorts Film Fest is what they're called, but it's like through Heartland Film Festival. And then Hobnobbin up in Fort Wayne, which is wonderful. But yeah, we won, gosh, I actually, let me look at my award to see what that, just kidding. It's something along the lines of like Indiana Reels. Indiana Reels is what it's called. So we won that, which is very exciting, because it's like, if only the Hellbender salamanders knew, that they are worthy of a film festival award. I wonder if I should go take the award and show them up at Purdue sometime,
I mean, I'm always a fan of celebrating at Purdue, but that is because I'm a Boilermaker grad.
Are you? Okay. Yes. Yeah, I'm a Cardinal. So
chirp, chirp.
Yeah, chirp, chirp. But there's no I think it's actually like this, but
chirp,
I'm like,
chirp. Well, I did
it's okay. It's because you're a Boilermaker. What do you do? This? Is that what you do?
Yeah, yeah, like that.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, it's like, ugh. Yeah. Anyways, my sister.
We're really like making our universities proud right now on this video.
Oh my gosh! Right, shout it out. Yeah, go Hoosiers, go. Oh, that's actually Indiana University. So I'm originally a Buckeye, actually, Midwest girl from Ohio, now in Indiana. Okay. Anyways, moral of the story: we got to let the Hellbenders know that they are worthy of recognition and important. I mean, they're a keystone species, so that's probably more important than the actual like film award. the fact that they're like indicating whether or not our environment is healthy. But I digress.
No, I was gonna say, having been on the river with Nick for a campfire since then, I'm sure he would love nothing more than having to like drag an award down the river with him and stop at every Hellbender.
Don't get me started. Speaking of working with best friends, Nick doesn't know it, but he's my best friend.
Oh, he is the best.
I mean, I
love
haven't
working on
talked
a
to him for
campfire
like
with
6 months, but still, he's my best friend.
Exactly.
Friendship isn't about the amount of times you talk to someone. It is rather about the deep friendship connection. You know what I'm saying?
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. Yes, yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Shout out to all my buds.
Now that we have subjected, as the audience can tell, Katelyn and I can just ramble together
Right.
forever.
Don't get us started on cottage cheese, folks.
No,
Moving
please
on.
don't. We should probably wrap it up, I suppose.
Yep.
What's next for this film? What's next for you? Where can audiences look forward to seeing you next?
Right. Oh my gosh. That's the big question, right? What's next? This film, I'm very excited that we are releasing it to the public. I think that's a really good thing. I think it's served a beautiful purpose of letting people know what's going on with the Hellbenders. So I'm excited that it's just going to be in like public access now. I think I've got a few inquiries about speaking of public access, some public access channels are wondering about maybe sharing it there. So that's an option. All of this is like me making decisions. I was about to be like, is this any of this NDA? But it's like, no, I literally just have to decide things. So moving forward, I'm excited that it'll be shown to people. There's opportunity to maybe do a few public access things on, the television. Let's see what else. I definitely want to like create some sort of like ability to share in schools. I think it could be an educational tool. I think, and it's just really given me a lot of exposure and opportunity as a filmmaker. So I've got a few film ideas in the works per usual, but nothing nothing cooked enough to share. I don't want to give you guys raw cookie dough. So
I think every filmmaker I've talked to so far has said something along the lines of like, I've got something in mind or I'm noodling on something, but we're not sharing that yet.
What I've been saying to myself is nobody's going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, Katelyn didn't do anything that year. People are going to be like, remember Hellbender? Exactly. I mean, maybe they won't even be that, but I'm proud of it and I'm excited. And I've loved partnering with you all the whole time. And you all have been, personally as a filmmaker myself, like you all have been very instrumental in my personal career. So that's been lovely. And then, and then it's just, I'm excited for what's next. I think I really want to lean into keep telling some Hoosier stories, but also maybe go a little bit more national with it. Sky's the limit, as they say. So
awesome. Well, that's great news to hear. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to run by with you, Katelyn, but I think that's all. Is there anything else you wanted to give a quick shout out to for viewers before we wrap things up?
I just appreciate anyone who's watching this, anyone who's followed along, the support. I mean, we did a fundraising campaign. We did all sorts of things. So just people just donated in such beautiful ways, time, energy, financial money. But overall, it's just to have that support from the community and to for people to watch it has been so magic. So
well, I think that's a perfect way to wrap things up. I appreciate you finding this most heartfelt segue that I could not find for the life of me. On behalf of myself, Katelyn, and the entire team at Indiana Humanities, I want to thank everybody for tuning in for this interview. If you're interested in watching and learning more, please check out the remaining films and interviews here on the Indiana Humanities YouTube channel. And lastly, couldn't finish this moment off without thanking the Joe and Carol Trimmer Indiana Film Fund, as well as the Nina Mason Pulliam Charitable Trust for all of their incredible support for this project. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody.